see Travis is still sitting as the stream boss. I don't know. Anyway, how's it going? I'll be with you momentarily. I don't know what's going on with donos, but we've had literally like $10 in donos all month. Yeah, great. Anyway, got a few more parcels. Some packages. Just hide all these addresses. Not like you can read them anyway. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 came in today. As you can see, we still need to get caught up on the recycle. That's all from yesterday, by the way. You can't even see all of them, but those piles of boxes. Anyway, I'll toss the dono link up again, and we'll see what happens. It all goes back into the show, folks. It all goes back into the show. Go. Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not. Well, I don't know. Hold on a second. Oh, I didn't mean to. That twice. Whatever, you get it twice. Okay, cool. Can't even. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Thank you for the enthusiasm, Retro. You're coming off a little intense, though. Just saying. A little bit intense. Maybe just dial it back a bit. Yeah, I'm not doing a 24-hour marathon stream. Did you miss the memo? We're done with the marathons. They're done. They're finished. Not doing them anymore. They are over. Of all things, how could I possibly have lost the box cutter? We've been using it so much over the past week. On the floor somewhere? No. Oh, it's right here. Hunter and Thomas and Jonkler and Gridman. Alright. So it's just going to be a short one today. I'm pretty tired. Been running around a bit. Did some grocery shopping earlier. And I just don't feel like doing a big long stream tonight. So we're not going to do a big long stream tonight. But I did want to open up the latest packages that arrived. So we're going to open the latest packages that arrived. Alright, let's see what we got here. First up, we got a few bubble envelopes. How many people are here? Have we got at least 20? We have 15. Well, alright. Then I guess everyone else misses out. Alright, let's see what we got here. So first up, what is this? Oh! It's a power adapter for my camera. For the Canon. Yeah. The regular Canon one was just too goddamn expensive. So anyway, this will mean if I'm going to leave the camera stationary for a bit, I don't have to use the battery. I can just use a power adapter. So just, you know, technical stuff. Alright, set that aside. Let's see what we got here. This feels like a movie. There. They usually have a little pull tab thingy, but this one did not. Ah, yes. Excellent. We have another from the Criterion Horror Collection, Quaidan, which is another, like... Oh, this one's actually kind of an anthology film. 3 hours long. Holy shit, I didn't realize it was that long. That's awesome. So I thought this batshit insane bit of Japanese horror would go really good with this bit of batshit insane Japanese horror, and I'm gonna make probably make a double bill of it. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right, I wasn't kidding. This is gonna be a really short one. So anyone wanted to drop some donos to contribute to the Halloween shenanigans, please feel free, but don't wait. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yes. Another box set of gothic horror from around the world. We have... what is it called? Gothic Fantastico. 4 Tales of Italian Gothic Horror. Very nice. This is another... there's an Arrow box set. There's been some from Severin as well. So what we have here is standard Arrow set. You know, we got 4 keep cases and a hard box with a book and a poster. And we have Lady Morgan's Vengeance, The Blancheville Monster, The Third Eye, and The Witch. No relation to the Robert Eggers film. Very cool. So this will be a nice companion piece to all of those Severin sets that I got. The Danza Macabre sets. So yeah, very cool. Alright. Next up, I'm pretty sure I know what this one is, and it ties into one that we got the other day. Quite a tome of a book. Yes, here it is. This is the latest edition of House of Psychotic Women, originally published in 2012, and Severin Films recently, in 2022, invited the author to curate a box set of movies that tie into this. And yeah, so you basically, ideally, want to get both of these if you want to get these. So, very cool. It says an autobiographical topography of female neurosis in horror and exploration films. So, yeah, very, very cool. Apparently, it's a fantastic book. We got the young Sam Neill there. Of course, Sissy Spacek and Carrie, and lots of others you probably never heard of. So, really looking forward to going through that book, and of course the Blu-ray set. That is a nice companion piece to that. But that book covers hundreds of films. The Blu-ray set has 4, but 4 very special, obscure ones. I'm not sure what this is, but it's got quite the heft to it. Oh, of course it is. I forgot. See, in the midst of all my current purchases, I keep forgetting I also have pre-orders that have been sitting there for a while, some of which are coming through now. This is one of them. Oh, we got Volume 2 of the Micronauts, the new omnibus edition. First time ever that these have been reprinted and collected. We did pick up Volume 1 recently as well. But fantastic. So this contains issues 30 through 54 and material from Marvel Preview numbers 4 and 7. So very nice. I do love me some Micronauts. And that's all she wrote for today. We're done. Bye! Figure out that we're running out of I mean, this is only temporary shelf space anyway, right? But it's getting a little tight. From Fab Press. Very cool. So I'll just read you the back here so you get sort of a sense of what it's all about. Hi. Put some more light on in the background, maybe. That's something I still need to do. I need to get proper lighting for the Halloween area. I'm basically ready to start filming. Just need to get some light. So, cinema is... Where are you? Hi. Cinema is full of neurotic personalities, but few things are more transfixing than a woman losing her mind on screen. Horror as a genre provides the most welcoming platform for these histrionics. Crippling paranoia, desperate loneliness, masochistic death wishes, dangerous obsessiveness, apocalyptic hysteria. Unlike her male counterpart, the eccentric, the female neurotic lives a shamed existence, making these films those rare places where her destructive emotions get to play. Named after the U.S. Retitling of Carlos Ored's The Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll, House of Psychotic Women is an examination of these characters through a daringly personal autobiographical lens. Anecdotes and memories interweave with film history, criticism, trivia, and confrontational imagery to create a reflective personal history and an examination of female madness both on-screen and off. This sharply designed book, with a 48-page full-color section, is packed with rare stills, posters, press books, and artwork that combine with family photos and artifacts to form a titillating sensory overload, with a filmography that traverses the acclaimed and the obscure in equal measure. Films covered include The Entity, Black Swan, Repulsion, Three Women, The Corruption of Chris Miller, Singapore Sling, Christiane F., Toys Are Not for Children, Let's Scare Jessica to Death, The Haunting of Julia, that's a good one, Mademoiselle, Out of the Blue, Secret Ceremony, Cutting Moments, Dr. Jekyll and His Women, The Piano Teacher, Possession, The Brood, Antichrist, and hundreds more. And this is the expanded edition, which includes over 100 new film reviews. So there you go, The House of Psychotic Women. And if you pick up the book, also be sure to pick up the box set from Severin, because they do fine work. Yes, indeed. This is going to be the shortest stream ever. It's going to be so short. Such a shorty short stream of shortness. Very short. So short, Carlatin just got here and I'm already leaving. Yes, cool, right? Micronauts. Latin says I'm not used to less than 2-hour streams. Oh, there you go. The cat can take over, yeah. Yep. I really have nothing to say today. Hi, how's it going? I'm just really tired, honestly. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by myself. Just the sheer avalanche of stuff we ordered off Amazon and everything else. And yeah, we made a huge dent in the wish list, that's for sure. Holy shit. But the main thing is, of course, all the equipment upgrades, which means we can do a lot more once all the equipment comes in. I'm a little pissed off, though. Turns out the polarizing filter I got, it's for the wrong camera. It's Canon, but it's for a different kind of lens fit, so it doesn't fit on mine. So I might be able to get some kind of adapter, maybe. I'm not sure. It might actually be cheaper just to get the right lens than to get an adapter. But, yeah, the problem is we're kind of at the end of the spending money. That was all within the budget. And, yeah, we're pretty much done. For now, anyway. There's more money coming in next month, but nowhere near the amount that came in this month. So, yeah. So the big shop is basically done. Now it's just kind of random things that I forgot. Whether it be additional equipment I need, or like, oh yeah, there's one more movie in that series of movies that I wanted to get, or whatever. But, you know, for the most part, it's done for now. I think we have more than enough to get us through Halloween. I mean, we could get through Halloween on updates and closer looks alone. That may be what we do. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. We're just kind of playing it by ear here, folks. Huh? Not reading the fine print? No, just don't with the sarcasm, all right? This is the first real camera I've ever had, so the whole concept of swappable lenses is completely new and foreign to me. So, yes, I'm bound to make a few mistakes in the process as I'm learning. And, you know, shit happens. But the end result is, you know, I have a camera that I'm learning things on every single day, and there's a lot we can do with it that I couldn't do with my previous equipment, you know, so I'm looking forward to exploring that. I mean, the polarizing lens was sort of a nice thing to have to help reduce glare and whatnot, but it's not an essential piece of equipment. The main thing is the 3 lenses that I got. So those are great, and I think I've figured out which one will be sort of my main kind of regular workhorse lens, and which the other ones will be used for more kind of specialized shots and whatnot. Like you know, I got a macro lens that's very very tight focal range. Like you can't even fill the whole frame with full focus unless everything is right in front of the camera. But so it'll be good for like extreme close-ups of things, which is pretty cool. And then I got another one. It's just a short lens. Seems to be a fixed focal length. Like it didn't really seem to make a difference when I adjusted the focal dial. So I think that's more just kind of for you know, you could use it for like vlogging or whatever, but you know, you have to stay kind of in one spot to stay in focus. But then the other one I got is it's a combination. It's got a bit of a zoom, not like super zoom like, you know, digital cameras do, but bit of a zoom and you know, nice focal range. So I think it's going to be a good just sort of general all-purpose lens. That's the one I have on the camera now. You can see it on the tripod over there, I think. Yeah, you can't really see it too clearly, but you know, it's there. And yeah, anyway. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So Cronin says, oh, I guess that's true. Not used to one of this caliber. Well, yeah, exactly. And the all the cameras I've had before have been just all-in-one units, like camcorders and stuff. And even like snapshot cameras I've had just been like simple all-in-one units. So this whole idea of, you know, basically buying a camera without a lens and then having to figure out what lens you want. I don't know shit about lenses. I've been learning as I go. I know more now than I did a week ago, but just from playing around with what I have or what I got. But it's yeah, it really is a whole new area for me, but one I've wanted to get into for a while because I've wanted to get a little bit more serious with you know, the filming and whatnot, in terms of having options for doing more serious productions and such. So this gives me those options. You know, I don't have to go out and buy a whole new camera if I want to do something different. I just need to get a lens that lets me do that particular thing I'm trying to do, you know. So yeah, so it'd be interesting to learn as we go. I wouldn't say it's a steep learning curve at all. I mean, I'm not coming into it completely green. I've worked with countless other types of cameras before. It's just learning how this type of camera works, you know, and learning about a little bit more depth with the photography terms. like f-stops and lumens and, well, and, things like that. I don't know. I don't even know what all the terms are. But there were a few terms in there that I'd heard but didn't really get, and, I'm learning as I go. But I wouldn't say it's a steep learning curve at all, at least not for me, because I'm coming from a background of having worked with a lot of different equipment before. Just not this type of equipment. Not the type of equipment that is this customizable, I guess, really is what it is. The basic camera functions are, not that different from what I'm used to, but just the level of customizability with these higher end cameras is kind of crazy. So it's exciting for me because, of course, I've always looked at pictures and film and stills and such and see these just amazing shots and wonder how they got them. I mean, it's one part creativity, obviously, but it's also another, one part equipment. So I'm like, what kind of equipment did they use? How did they figure out how to get the lighting just like that? All these little things. But to me, it's like being a kid in a candy store. It's just a whole new world of knowledge to explore. So, I'll learn as I go. I may just end up sticking with the 3 lenses I have. That may be all I need. May not need to get any more fancy than that. I don't know. I've had it for like a week. So, we'll see. Lumens are cool, says for Latin. Yes. Alright, I don't know what's going on. Why is it when I do the long streams, we get like hardly any just random silly people coming in? I do a short one. We got possible troll on YouTube, possible troll on Twitch simultaneously. Maybe it's the same person. I don't know. So I don't know. Let's just go back to followers only chat. Well, if you saw me play Surgeon Simulator, I would definitely not be your first choice. Guy says, I would trust you to perform surgery on my most vital organs. As a matter of fact, you would be my first choice. Yeah. Maybe watch the VOD of me playing Surgeon Simulator first. Yeah. Oh, hey, that's what we should find out if that one works in VR. I bet it would be a lot easier in VR than trying to use the controller. We'll have to try that at some point. I think it does. So, oh yeah, I gave myself the tranquilizer and then, high as balls, attempted to perform open heart surgery. It went about as well as you can imagine. Oh, and then dropped the still running saw blade that I was using to cut through his rib cage into the soup of his organs. So it's just like just grinding away in his guts. That's how you came to your conclusion. Wow. VR Surgeon Simulator would make you sick. What? Because well, if it's easy to just grab and play with the organs, I'm gonna be working that as much as I possibly can. It's like, ooh, squishy. I'm playing drums on your lungs, playing drums on your lungs. Yeah. But I think it would be a lot easier because, it very much seemed like it was designed to be played in VR. Just because you were using your hands. Now you've seen me play Seventh Guest. With the VR controls, it's really easy to do that kind of thing because you can actually properly grab things and hold them and look at them and manipulate them. It's just so much easier. It's literally just like using your hands. Just a slightly different control scheme, but it's pretty damn close. So, yeah. So we'll definitely have to try Surgeon Simulator again with the VR helmet. If it works. Actually, I can look right now. Where's the controller? Yeah, I can look right now. I forgot. We actually have... Rosie was playing Seventh Guest. She may have figured out some of the puzzles that were giving me trouble, so we'll get back to that. Maybe we'll get back to that tomorrow. That was fun. And I did rescue the broken VOD, by the way. So I found there was actually there was a glitch. I don't know if it was a glitch on my end or a glitch just in the stream, but it kind of borked the Twitch version as well, because when I was trying to do the highlight to cut them into, like, just to cut out the parts that got broken, I got to the glitch part and it crashed the VOD on Twitch when I was just trying to do the highlights. So I marked the time and was able to just kind of trim that little glitch section out, and just enough that it was able to, just deal with the clean part of the file. But anyway, yeah, so if you wonder why 7th Guest VR parts 1, 2, and 3 suddenly showed up in the regular videos, that's why. It's because it was the only way to rescue them. So, anyway, people seem to be enjoying them, so that's good. Now, what were we going to look at? Surgeon Simulator, yeah. Let me see here. Because I uninstalled it because I was like, well, we're never going to play that again. And it just occurred to me, like, wait a minute. I wonder if that works in VR. Oh, it's PS4. Fuck. Hold on. I think there's a Surgeon Simulator 2 for PS5. Let's see if that... I don't know how much it is. Yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't work, is PS4 VR games don't work on PS5 VR. They're not cross-compatible. Regular games are, for the most part, but... yeah... Well, fuck, they're both PS4. Oh, and there was a VR version. Yeah, there's a PSVR version, but not a PSVR 2 version. God damn it. Well, that's disappointing. Because I'm sure that would have made it a lot easier. Then I could just be doing my own shtick to make things funny, rather than being completely crippled by the broken ass controls. So let me check Steam, because if Steam has it, then we can play it, because this works with Steam when you get the $300 adapter that I got. It does not natively work with Steam. I think this is it, right? Are you seeing? No, hold on. Is it this one?
War is coming, my boy. You must make ready.
Why am I suddenly in Final Fantasy? I have no idea. Oh, I must have clicked that instead of the search box. Got it. Okay, so Surgeon Simulator. Yeah, there we go. We'll just bring this up here. So Surgeon. Oh my God, it's like $12. You get both of them for $35. Oh, here we are. VR. That's ER. VR. Do we need a specific VR version of it, or is it Meet the Medic? Experience reality. Okay. Well, let me just take a look here. This has to be VR compatible. Like, I would think any first-person game could potentially be VR compatible. Great game with a solid concept, but the controls are terrible. Yeah. And I get it. There is a certain appeal to games with intentionally crippled controls. You know, like, what is it? There's There's one about an alien pretending to be human. I forget what. Maybe it's just called Being Human or something. I can't remember. Jacksepticeye played it once. It looked pretty funny, so I wanted to check it out. Human Simulator, maybe? I can't remember. And then there was, of course, Octodad. That's like the classic example of a game with crippled controls being the, being where a lot of the entertainment and humor comes from. So, okay, well, what about... So maybe we do need, like, a specific VR version of it. How about the anniversary bundle? What do we got here? Okay. It doesn't tell us anything. How about Surgeon Simulator 2? What even is going on here? Did they add a whole bunch of zany characters into it? Or was there was the guy who phoned, and I just answered the phone and instantly hung up on him. It's like, yeah, hey, click. I didn't mean to hang up on you. Call back, please call back. Yeah. So, okay, what about experience reality? Here we go. Yeah, see, already. See? Yeah, you pick things up. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, okay. So it's the same one that's on PSVR, but for here it's $26. Okay. And what about the other one? So that looks fun. Then we got Meet the Medic. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Well, that looks hilarious. Oh, that one's free. That one is free. We are adding that to the library. Yeah. I guess because everybody has Team Fortress. Doesn't Valve just basically give it to you by this point? Here, just have it. So this is the real one, and then this is sort of the Team Fortress parody of it. Cool. Alright. Anyway, good to know. So lucky my edible's kicked in right now. I was about to go, but then you got me on looking for video games. Was it loud? Cool. I couldn't tell. Sounded normal to me, to my old man ears. And greetings, by the way, Stone Cold Brian Absher, aka Remote Tripod, just so you guys know. Man of many names. It goes well. It goes well. Got some more cool movies. Looking forward to checking them out. I did pick up the corrected 4K editions that finally have good transfers of Predator and American Psycho. So I'm looking forward to watching those. I still need to get the 4K TV. But I will. Probably just going to get another one of those, honestly. Just get one of those for now. Plunk it here. And then these two I can use for the other two computers. Done. Just do it like that for a little bit. Colette asks, how many more days do you think you'll have of new packages? Until at least the end of the first week of October. Yeah. There's a lot. Most of them will be done by the end of this month. So there's at least a few a day. But the main avalanche, I think, is mostly done. So they should slow down gradually. We're just in the first lap, exactly. It's crazy. Well, we're still waiting on the big equipment, right? We still have the computers. So, John Clearwood says, I've never properly looked. I think my TV is 4K. Could be wrong. Well, that should be easy enough to check. When you power on your TV, does it not show you like the resolution up in the corner somewhere? Like mine usually shows me up in the corner what the resolution is when it powers on. Like it literally just gives me the 3184 by 2160 or whatever 4K is. 3840 by 2160, I think. And then oddly, Cinema 4K is a little bit higher than that. It's like 4,000 something by 2160. It's weird. I don't know why there's a discrepancy of like 200 lines or 200 pixels. No, none of my TVs are from Walmart. Why the fuck would I go to Walmart? Walmart's on the other side of town. I have a Best Buy across the street from me. You can literally just walk across the street. I used to shop there more when they carried more physical media than they do these days. They basically just have the new release island and that's it now. Which I understand. Whoa, that's really loud. Hold on a second. Which I understand is already more than what a lot of Best Buys carry these days. Sorry, it says the camera mic is actually quite quiet, so I have to crank it up on in Streamlabs. I don't know if there's a way to. Let me see. Maybe there's a mixer setting. Where is it? Yeah, let me go into the. Yeah, no, it should be 100. Use it for audio. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that all seems fine. I don't know. Check the mixer. I haven't actually looked at it in the mixer. I think everything is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, everything is cranked by default. 100%. I don't know. Best Buy, Walmart, same difference. Well, certainly not the same distance for me. Also, I mean, different brands, obviously. But I mean, really, even 4K TVs, they're not that expensive. I mean, you can get a 55-inch here in Canada for about $500. 500 Canadian, which would be like what, 350 US. It's ridiculous how cheap TVs are now. So yeah, I can find the money for that. That's okay. It's not a matter of the money. It's a matter of it's a matter of feeling up to clearing off the frickin' desk so I can put the new TV in and move the others over. Yeah, it's just something I don't feel like doing right now. But on the other hand, like I'm getting all these great new 4K discs. I want to watch them in 4K, God damn it. So, yeah. About 8K TV, absolutely pointless. Unless you're going to use it as your wallpaper, like literally to have living wallpaper, absolutely pointless. Are you going to be watching movies on the wall of the Grand Canyon? Well, then, if the answer is yes, then in that case, maybe 8K is justified. If no, however, if you're going to watch them on your, 55-inch screen, 8K is absolutely pointless. I mean, I would even argue 4K is almost pointless at that size. Although, given how close I will be sitting to the one in front of me, like literally 2 feet away, I think it'll be just fine. 8K TV, the telly screen from 1984. Oh, yeah, kind of. Something like that. Although, honestly, that size of screen you could do with 4K. I mean, that's like a theater screen, right? So, and theaters project in 4K. So, yeah, 4K is ideally you want 70-inch or more if you're sitting at like a normal distance from the screen, obviously. But yeah, ideally you want 70 or more. Or even better, a projector with an actual pull down screen of at least 120 inches. Now you're talking. But even at that size, 8K would be absolutely pointless. It would just look like 4K again. Now, some people argue, well, the pixel density on smaller screens. Yes, I will give you that. The pixel density is almost imperceptible when you have a high resolution, smaller screen. So it makes images look that much more solid, as it were. So I get that, I guess. You're not seeing the pixels so much as you would with lower resolution screens of the same size. But that's the thing, is like even with and I talked about this when 1080 came out, was you can go going between 480 to 1080, you can like keep increasing the screen size quite a bit before you start to lose any noticeable detail or see any, visible pixels. I mean, you had to have a pretty big screen just for 1080 to be able to see that, like 50 or so inches. And then with 4K, I mean, it needs to be even bigger before you start to lose any kind of definition, so yeah, and as far as I know, Dan, you cannot get 3D TVs anymore, at least not that I've seen. And believe me, I've looked. But yeah, I wish. But that's okay. I have a solution for watching 3D movies, and that is VR. That was one of the reasons I got the PSVR to PC adapter. But the other reason, of course, was simply to have access to more VR games. Yeah, I mean, you look at the PlayStation's VR library, it's not terribly huge, which is kind of annoying considering how much the fucking hardware costs. Give me more games, please. So, I bought a bunch when I first got it, the ones that looked the most interesting and that I thought we could have some fun with. Yeah, and then, but then looking at the Steam library, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous how many VR games are on there. And a lot of them are free. They're just little VR experiences or little short games, and they're free. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. The curved TVs, well, I think it's just to immerse you in the image more. Because it kind of, it starts to dip into your peripheral vision a little bit. If you've ever heard about Cinerama, Cinerama was basically like an IMAX movie, but picture the size of 3 IMAX screens next to each other. Okay. So it was 3 full frame films running simultaneously in tandem to create one massive triple wide image. So in that case, the way that was projected was, well, kind of similar to an IMAX screen with the curve, but a much bigger curve because it was a much wider image. So it was filmed with that in mind. So what you would see on the sides would be slightly wider, like taller and more exaggerated as it would appear in your peripheral vision. And then the focus tended to be more central on characters and such. I watched a Western that was filmed in Cinerama. Was it How the West Was Won, I think. It's, had the digibook of it. And it was presented in what they call smile box, where it's like letterbox for CinemaScope aspect ratio and tighter and wider, but to really properly create the sort of dimensions of the image without it being distorted, they actually had to curve it out like a smile. It's like a smile. It kind of dips in the middle and dips in the middle at the bottom again. And then, but it looks correct. Like if you compare that to just a straight up widescreen image, reformatted from the Cinerama format, it looks weird. Like the edges of the image actually look pinched. So in that case, it's better to watch it in Smilebox, even though at first it like looks really weird, but you get accustomed to it very quickly when your brain kind of adjusts and you realize this is actually correct. This is the way it was seen. So if you had seen it on an actual Cinerama screen, the central screen where most of the action is would be slightly farther away than the 2 that curve around the sides. So if you kind of pictured that in your mind, how that would look, so you'd have like the smaller screen or the farther screen and then the ones curving out to the side, it would look like a smile. So it's really clever, actually, how they came up with the idea to do that on home video as smile box, as they call it, to preserve that the correct proportioning of everything in the frame. But yeah, that's one of the things that like one of the reasons for that. So okay, Jonkler checked and he says, okay, looking at this, it's a 1080p TV. Okay, there you go. Note to self, get a curved 4K TV. Yeah, exactly. As the Teenage Dan says, it sounds similar to Screen X, that at some cinemas, the screen is front and 2 at the side. Okay, yeah, not always on. Absolutely rubbish for horror films. I can see how that could be used for horror films, but it'd have to be formatted specifically for that type of theater. That's interesting. which screen is the killer going to come from, you know? But yeah, they released a bunch of Cinerama stuff a few years back on Blu-ray in the Smilebox format. I was really fascinated by it. I'd always meant to kind of dive into that collection more, but I did not. And I think a lot of those are now out of print. I think a lot of them were actually Twilight Time titles now that I think about it. So, yeah. Hopefully some of them will come back at some point. But the problem is, um, well, actually, that no problem with those. But there were some Cinerama 3D movies as well, and they did do Blu-ray releases of those too. Um, but my concern is like all of the various 3D movies that I wanted but didn't end up picking up. Like how many of those are going to be out of print? It's not a huge deal for me, but I mean it's just nice to have. And I'm sure at some point, I mean, with the abundance of 3D media out there, there will be some means of showing it on a screen or projecting it in 3D in some form. So I don't see why not. Oh yeah, Jonker says on the bright side, I'm prepped for full 4K upgrade. Got a couple 4K. My Xbox One S is 4K. Got a 4K HDMI cords. Got a couple 4K Blu-rays. Gotcha. Nice. So you're kind of like the same as me. Like you're doing your full right across the board upgrade about basically the same time I am. Perfect. Here's to the late to the party club. Yeah. Woo! But yeah, a lot of the movies and stuff I've been picking up. You guys probably noticed I've definitely been buying a lot more 4K. And yeah, I figured, okay, all right, fine, I'll jump on the bandwagon. It's long overdue anyway. And of course, I want the best possible quality for all of my favorite movies. Better late than early. Well, you may jest, but that's not untrue. Like I actually don't like being an early adopter, especially with new technology. I like to just kind of hang back and see how it shakes out. Not that if it's successful or not. I mean, you can tell when they're pushing for a new format and it's here to stay. Yeah, that's fine. But that's not the issue. It's just, is the technology worth getting into at this point? Also, if you wait a little bit, it tends to come down in price. Yeah. New tech's always expensive when it comes. Although I will argue 4K is still more expensive than it has to be. That is like there's a bit of forced premium pricing there. Like, come on. Come on. But they're starting to come down in price, I think, because the formats, I mean, I don't think it's never going to be on the level of Blu-ray, sure as hell not on the level of DVD in terms of content, but it's nice to see that it's sort of become more kind of the standard, like the premium standard, you know. Don't want to back Betamax when VHS is the winner. Yeah, and that was a crying shame too, because apparently Beta was actually better quality. You just couldn't fit quite as much on a tape. That was really one of their big downfalls. It was the tapes were shorter running time, and also Sony didn't license out the technology. So whereas JVC, the inventors of VHS, licensed it out to anybody who wanted it. So there was a lot of competition for VHS players, which drove prices down, like so fast, making it a format anybody could afford. Basically, there were levels of players for any level of enthusiast, from casual to hobbyist. Whereas Sony was the only game in town with the beta machines, and they didn't drop the price. They priced them through the roof. Oh no, you're paying for you're paying for Sony quality, far superior. No, you're not. You're just paying for the fucking name, and you know it. But yeah. But most people like to say, well, it was really because porn. Yeah, because porn. Um, and HD losing to Blu-ray. Well, HD DVD losing to Blu-ray. That one I had no problem with because honestly, Blu-ray was the better format anyway. So, yeah. Funny how many HD DVDs have succumbed to laser rot or disc rot. Yeah, great format, guys. Worm disease. I like the way you think. He says porn, VR, 8K. Yeah. Now you're talking. Yeah, like Jonker says, see what hiccups there might be, and yeah, prices, basically. And he said, and he also says, by the way, I saw Transformers 1. Oh, really? I didn't know that was out already, but very cool. I really want to see that. It looked like so much fun from the trailer. He says, by the way, saw Transformers 1, and man, I wish this was the film we got in 2007 instead of the Bay film. This was great. Nice. Yeah, I really liked what I saw in the trailer, honestly. Like, it just looked like a real good, fun action adventure, feel good kind of, movie. But, yeah. 3D. Yes, 3D for 8K VR porn. Porn, and everybody's saying porn VR 8K in the chat. Yes. With half off priced silicon AI sex doll. Sex doll from Wish. Yeah, well, yeah, like a robotic sex doll that mimics the actions of the VR girl, right? So, yeah. Now you're talking. It's like it's there. That actually sounds really hot. And as a lonely guy, I would buy the shit out of that. And then I would fuck the shit out of that. You'd never see me again. I'd just be fucking my sex doll all day and night. Ugh. UK gets it in 2 weeks. Wow, really? That fast? Oh, you meant Transformers 1. Right, okay. Need that suit from Ready Player One, yeah. Or Upload, if you've ever seen Upload. Um or or the VR gear or the artificial reality gear from Red Dwarf with the groinal attachment. Yeah. The cam zooms? What? Did it zoom? I don't think it zooms. Did it? Does it? Oh shit. This camera's freaking me out, man. Oh, it did it again. What the hell? How does it know to zoom in then? Like, how do you know? How? Oh my god. I didn't do it that time. That's so weird. I had no idea. Wow. That's just trippy, man. You just need to check this sensitivity. It's trying to find me. It's looking for me. Ah, I'm gonna hide. Yeah, I evaded its sensors. It doesn't know where I am. It thinks it's just an empty room. If I pop my head out, Will it find me? I don't know. Hello? Suddenly, boom! Laser shoots out of the camera, and my head explodes like that guy in Scanners. Bits everywhere. And that woman's face in the old Dark House poster that hasn't moved ever, her eyes slowly look up while maintaining that horrified expression on her face. Yeah. There you go. All this because those camera zooms. Cool option though. It is, yeah. I do need to fuck around with the settings though. Like I have no idea. I wasn't looking to do any deep setup of everything right now anyway, because this computer is being given to Rose as soon as the new ones come in. So I just wanted to use them to kind of, get the quality upgrades going, and then um but then do like the sort of more detailed setup when I do the set up the new computers. Just some stuff falling off my Doctor Who shelf. Actually, it'd be funny if you could like make it super sensitive. So it's like if I spin around in my chair, it just does like a crash zoom on my face, like instantly. That would be amazing. It's like dun dun dun. Yeah. Did it do a crash zoom earlier? That's great. I need to find out if that's adjustable. I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm trying to bring up the control. Oh, here it is. Okay. Video. Let's just exposure. Yeah, we fixed all like the white balance and everything the other day. We got that all figured out. Yeah, autofocus. Uh, no. I don't know. Oddly, they doesn't seem to be a lot of like options here. I don't know. Uh huh. Yeah, no idea. Of course there aren't. It just does whatever the hell it feels like. Great. I mean, I probably have an instruction manual somewhere. I haven't thrown any of that stuff away yet, so. I did again. Meanwhile, I'm slowly moving files off of a slightly troublesome hard drive. It's just been kind of persnickety when I'm trying to move files over. All right. So I've been moving files over basically like one folder at a time, and it seems to be happier with that. Maybe it just didn't like being run so hard trying to pull all the files off of it. I don't know. I mean, it was fine before. It's also possible my dock may be crapping out because I have used it far more than those are generally intended to be used. So, auto zoom. That'll be kind of interesting when we do like the cooking streams, right? See what see what it decides to focus on. Hopefully, where I'm cooking, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But speaking of which, we did get the extension cable for it. This is the heaviest duty freaking USB cord I've ever seen. It feels like it's like the same thickness and almost and like the same weight as like the power cable for a computer. You know, like one of those thick 3-prong jobs. Yeah. 3-prong job, eh? We all know what that means. I don't know. You do tell me. Um it's basically like that. This is freaking heavy duty. Like, see, my concern is just the weight of the cable itself is gonna like put some pressure on where it's sitting in the USB connector. So I don't know. We'll figure something out. What's this other one? God, I got so much stuff. I don't remember what I got now. Silkland. What was this? It's another cable, but what the hell did I need another cable for? Oh, it's the duh. What were we just talking about? It's the DisplayPort cable for the PlayStation VR to PC adapter. Yeah, that's what it is. Kind of important. Need that. But again, why bother hooking it up if we're just gonna be putting that computer, nuking and paving that computer in a couple days, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, see, now it hit that error. Now, let me check something here. This is actually 2018. Okay. Ugh. Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure something out. The disk errored again. It errors whenever I do those ones, it seems. So there might be a problem with one of those files. Okay. But I think these files used to be on Google Drive. I don't think they still are. Oh yeah, here. Huh. Gotta be a way to pull the files off of it. Oh, I hate it when shit like this happens. But all the more reason that I'm glad to be getting the files off of these hard disks. Because, yeah, because. uh, Crazy. Yeah, I can see where they used to be on the Google Drive, but wait a sec, maybe hold on a second, because those files were actually dated 2018. I might still have them on here. 2018 317. A couple. Yeah, I have a couple there that are not among these. Is this yeah, no. All right, so basically that means at this point I just got to shut it down and let it rest. The disk isn't even particularly warm. So what I don't know. So what it is basically is there's it's a bunch of my old YouTube video footage. So it's I swear 2017 is just cursed because 2017 most of all of the footage and live stream game archives and everything were I transferred them over to a Samsung or not a Samsung Seagate drive, about 3 terabytes worth, and yeah, it not a couple days later the drive just stopped working. So after I'd transferred all the files over, so that's when I need to do data recovery on. If I have it in a box with other drives, I need to do data recovery on. So anyway, one of the things I was playing in 2017 was Conan Exiles. There's a whole bunch of Conan Exiles playthrough footage, the original recordings, and like the original high bitrate local recordings. So, I'd like to, save those. So, because they're actually the original stream versions, which are not archived anywhere else. They're the only existing copies of those uncut streams in existence. So, I would like to recover those. And, that's the whole point, is taking these files off these hard drives that are crapping out slowly and putting them on the new SSD drives and making it easier to preserve and protect going forward. So the problem is there's something in that Conan Exiles folder. I don't know what it is. If it's one of the files became corrupt and it's just like borking every time I try to access it, or if all of them have become corrupt, or what. But every time I try to copy that damn folder, it errors out and suddenly can't read anything from the disk. And I have to reset the whole damn procedure. So, yeah. Really want to get those files off of there, and then never have to deal with that disk again. There's one other disk like that where there's one single solitary file. It's an alternate version of one of my live streams. Now there is a version that is on YouTube, but that version is missing about 10 minutes in the middle. I'm guessing something I had to cut out for copyright or something. Well, the version I have is the full uncut version with that 10 minutes intact. You know, the archival version. I do that when there's a big problem with a stream. I'll put up a censored version, but I'll keep the original for myself. So, it's not like that big a loss. It's probably like a YouTube video we watched or something, and there will be enough context in the existing footage to know what it was we watched or listened to or whatever. But we lose whatever our reactions were. You know, whatever I think it was when the chat was still on screen, so you lose whatever the chat was talking about, reacting, lose my reactions and commentary, you know. Yeah. I don't like to lose things that don't need to be lost. So, and it's so frustrating because, of course, you see the file there. It's like it's right there. You could basically touch it, but as soon as you try to move it or copy it, it just like trips all over its own feet and takes the whole system down with it. Like, this is a simple copy paste operation. Why are you losing your shit? And the only conclusion is there's some kind of corruption in the file that every time it hits that particular block, it just shits the bed because it doesn't know how to deal with that corrupted data. So it's annoying. What? How persnickety we talking. Slow but acceptable, or more persnickety than Alan Moore is with watchable adaptations of his work? Asks Jonkler. I have no idea what you're on about. But, yes. Latin says, yeah. Oh, we need that on for horror games. Oh, yeah, of course. Imagine an unexpected crotch zoom. Yes. And then, and if we go back to it, will we finally get out of the fucking Dune Desert? What? The Dune Desert? Which one of us is more high right now? Oh, Conan Exiles. Yeah. I'd actually like to get back to Conan Exiles because they've added shit tons more stuff since I last played. It's quite a massive game now. But yeah, and also being a little more, that was the first real survival game I ever played, but being a little more familiar with the survival genre, you know, I know how to not fumble around too much at the beginning and at least have a functioning camp and not be starving and freezing to death, dying of thirst, missing the long dong squad. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that would fly today. They're too tight with the censorship now. But yeah, that was pretty fun. The long dong squad. Except Stout. Stout decided to make his penis as small as possible. Just a tiny little nub. So Skinslip and I had our, you know, man tentacles just flopping about everywhere. And Stouds, we basically had to like get right up to his crotch to even see it. The shriveled dong, yeah. That was funny. Sean made his so long, it looked like he was taking a shit. I think you got a little dangly there, Stick, and you might want to pinch that off. Oh, that's just my dick. What? Dangle, dangle, dangle. A dingle dick. Doing calisthenics and with your dick out. You're just bouncing and flopping as you do those squats and thrusts. Squat thrusts? Thrust squats. I don't know. Is your adventures with Skyrim finished now? Well, for the moment. I mean, there's still plenty of like side missions that I'm sure I did not find. And, secret missions and stuff to find. So lots more to explore. And that time when you all teleported into a wall. Oh, I know. It was like we became the Thing. We just could not. It's because I placed the bed slightly too close to the wall. The bed, of course, is the spawn point. So it like spawned us instead of just on the bed. It spawned us. I guess it was trying to spawn us beside the bed, but beside the bed was the wall. I don't know why I didn't just pick another side, but yeah, it's crazy. What are you? Why are you telling Blaze to piss off, Juggler? That's not nice. Says, hey Sean, I had a hard drive completely die once. Windows couldn't read any of it, but I found out about a program called Test Disk. It is so powerful, I highly recommend it. It saved 99% of the files on an otherwise dead drive. It's not a well-known program, but it's an absolute lifesaver and free. Here's a YouTube tutorial on how to use it. Sweet! That's actually... I do have like a pretty hardcore recovery program that I got ages ago. I don't know how... I mean, I don't know how much that really changes, really. I mean, it's still the same file structure and everything since then. But I don't remember what it was or where I put it. It's in a folder somewhere. But Test Disk. Yeah, I'll have to give that a try. Because it's a little bit frustrating when you're so close to the finish line. I've almost archived all of these drives. Well, I say finish line, but now I need more hard drives because I used up most of the space on all the drives I just got to save the data off all these physical drives. So, yeah, we'll get there. Oh, yes, no, not a troll. Blaze Vincent, longtime viewer and friend of the Multimedia Chronicles. So, could I use test disk to get back shit from a crashed drive? Possibly, yeah. I would think as long as the mechanism itself is at least able to fire up enough to read data, that this program may be able to, unscramble it and recover it. Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea because there's a couple of those drives. I know it's more of a the mechanism is just old and tired, and I'm sure that some kind of data recovery program could probably recover the data provided I could get the drives fired up. That was my concern. Some of those drives just don't power up anymore. So I know that there's all the data is on the platters, but it just needs to be put into a working mechanism in order to read the data. But because of the nature of fucking physical hard drives, that has to be done in a clean room facility. You can't let a single speck of dust get in there, or it's fucked forever. And there's no going back. So it's not like you can't like run it under the tap or something. Like, no, it's just done. Um, so yeah, it's annoying. So you've had no luck. You have a raw drive. I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, I mean that's generally if it's the type of program I'm thinking it is, then yeah, that should be, that could be something that you could recover some data off of that. Oh, the drive was showing up as raw. Windows couldn't even read it, and this program recovered it all. Nice. Okay. Well, you may have given me some hope there, Blaze. At least I know that that 2017 drive, I'm pretty sure, fires up, but for some reason wasn't reading the data. And at least one of the other drives, I think, also fires up. But one of them, I know for sure the mechanism is fucked because it was physical damage that caused it to malfunction. I don't even know if the plotters are still intact inside. But yeah. But what happened was it was an external drive that Rosie knocked over and it hit the floor and wouldn't spin up after that. It didn't sound like there was any like broken tinkly bits inside, so I'm hoping that the plotters didn't get smashed in the process. But yeah, but I've been wanting to take that in for data recovery. There's only about 1.5 gigs of stuff in there, or 1.5 terabytes of stuff in there. Sorry, so it's not a massive amount of data, and it wasn't full either, I don't think. But there's some stuff on there that's like one of a kind, like, old videos of, from the Stickam days and pictures and stuff. And some old YouTube videos from YouTubers who are no longer around, and nor are their videos. They could be the only copies that exist in the world of those videos. So, I take my data very seriously. I just wish I had the resources to have like sort of a rolling backup in process all the time. But I don't. That's the amount of data that I have. That would be so expensive, like in terms of the amount of hard drives I would need and the capacity of hard drives I would need to have a full, like, say, striped RAID array rolling backup of all my stuff. Yeah, that'd be ideal, but it would require like probably 100 terabytes to accommodate all the redundancies and have sufficient space. So that'd be ridiculous. I totally agree there, John Clear. Says, I fucking wish Twitch would improve finding clips. I know, right? Yeah, Blaze says NAS setups, even without the drives, are so stupidly expensive. Yeah. So it's like I'd love to have like just an obscenely huge RAID array, but the number of hard drives I would require it would be insane. So, and not just the number, but the cost of all those hard drives. I was looking at they have 8 terabyte SSDs now, which would be great. That would be fantastic. I could take like 2 of these 4 terabytes and consolidate them down to 1. And that's less drive space is used, less SATA cables, less power consumption, just everything, but like even more space. But they're pricey. I saw some Newegg had them on sale this week. I don't know if they still are. For about like $300 off. And with $300 off, it was like $800 for one 8 terabyte SSD drive. But that was reasonable, because a 4 terabyte one is about 400 or 500. So, it makes sense. Usually, the higher the capacity you go, the less it costs per gigabyte, kind of thing, or terabyte. But it doesn't seem to be the case here. With SSDs, you can get a 4 terabyte for like, about 400. An 8 terabyte, so double the capacity, is like 1,100 normally. So that's why I didn't buy any, because I was just like, well, that's just stupid. That's so expensive. I could get like this number of 4 terabytes for less than that, for the same price, same capacity, but just across 2 drives. So it's like, the ultimate plan is, and I'll be sort of building on this over the next few months, is each one of the new computers will have its own set of drives and its own set of files that it sort of maintains as an archive. So the capture computer will have, I guess, the most storage capacity, because it will have all the retro stuff on it, and all future captures that I do will be on that. And then there's the gaming computer, which will primarily have archives of game recordings and things like that. And then finally, we have the streaming / everything else computer. This is the main computer, the heart and soul of the whole operation. And that will be the one that we stream from, and that would be the one we also do most of our editing from. So, yeah. And the nice thing is, having both computers going means whichever one I'm on, I can still monitor the stream and the chat and everything from the other. So it'll make things a lot easier. So basically, all of this archiving I'm doing currently and recovering files off of these hard drives, I figured I'd get part of the project going while we're waiting for the rest of the equipment to arrive. So all of this is kind of in preparation for that. So these 4 hard drives that are in there, some will be going in certain computers, some will be going in others, and so forth. So, yeah. I guess the gaming computer, the first hard drive it gets will be another M2. Probably just a 4 terabyte for that. For games. So, and then just a regular 2.5-inch SSD for editing. And, yeah. Well, yeah, of course they come with hard drives. Why wouldn't they come with hard drives? Why are they going to put the operating system on? Yeah, most of them just come with a system drive. They don't come with a storage drive. So all 3 of the ones I got have a 2 terabyte SSD for the system drive. So, well, no, Dan, it's nothing to do with cost cutting. They're not going to sell you well, I mean, you only wouldn't have a computer with a hard drive as if you were building it yourself and you hadn't put one in yet. But when you get an all-in-one computer, absolutely it's going to have a hard drive. Come on, don't be silly. That's a silly question. As Blaze says, I have 51 terabytes spread across 8 external drives, all but 1 in the red in terms of space. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Only 2 are SSDs. I wish they would get bigger faster. Yeah, I know, right? Get bigger and cheaper. I mean, they have got cheaper. to be fair. Hold on a second. I'm going to go grab some munchies. Fuck it. I guess we're chatting for a little bit. Fine. Fine. Be interesting and have good conversations. So we are beginning the journey of eating healthier. So today's snacks, well, we have water, of course, as I always do. We have banana chips. Did zoom in on those? No? Okay. And a big bag of nuts. That's unsalted, by the way. Unsalted nuts. Where are you going? Alright. Am I out of sync now? Yep. Hold on. I hate it when it does that. Of course, you can't really tell when I'm doing it like this and not really facing the camera. There. Alright. I'm just gonna shove some nuts in my mouth. Thinking of cloning my drive. Or SSDs or even M2s. Yes. You had a ton of walnuts earlier? See, I just got a big bulk bag. I figured out how to key in bulk stuff at the checkout, self-checkout. My life just changed forever. Thomas says, computers of the future. Buy each key of the keyboard separately and everything else. Don't give them any ideas. Computers even more in the future, just a chip embedded in my head. Well, that may not be that far off. That's kind of what they've been pushing towards for a long time. Good in protein and healthy fats. Yeah. This is a good mix. Got some Brazil nuts, got some walnuts. And some cashews. Oh, chestnuts. Yeah, so I guess they're roasted but not salted. Ow. Very good. I also got a bag of cashews. Because I just never get cashews. I love cashews. I never get them because they're expensive. I was really craving these, actually. Unsalted nuts. Good old man snack, you know? I just remember going to my grandparents and they had a big bowl of nuts. They weren't like shelled like this, though. Where you could just eat them like popcorn. Oh, no. The nuts in the shell with a nutcracker. Get to work. You want a snack, you gotta work for it. Boy, I did. Love cracking those nuts. And shoving the insides into my mouth. Mmm. Really is hard not to eat just a million of them, isn't it? And honestly, like, nuts just naturally have so much flavor in them. Why do people douse them in salt? Doesn't need it. I don't know. I was just giving my chips so I can have super eyesight, and robot legs. There you go. Be running up the sides of buildings. Prefer salted nuts myself. Well, I mean, yes, but the point is to eat healthier, you see. Excessive salty snacks is bad for you. Trust me. I know. So we're going to go for more. I need my crunchy snacks. A bag of crisps will be like a once in a blue moon thing. A treat. But I gotta start getting rid of this gut somehow. I figure some dietary changes can't hurt. Honestly, I forgot how much I love banana chips. I think Walmart sells these as well. I used to get them all the time. Yeah, they do. They had like their little, island of mixed nuts. There's a couple that there's like one called Cajun Jazz that I really liked. That had some spiciness to it. But then I'd also get a couple bags of banana chips. What about the low sodium salt? Blaze says, I discovered chocolate black currants 2 days ago in my local Polish supermarket. I have since consumed 2 packets worth. It's healthy since it has fruit in it, right? Sure. And as long as it's dark chocolate, you're fine. Actually, that may not be entirely untrue. It still won't be great for you, but it'll be better for you. What? Okay, that's just crazy talk. Thomas says, banana chips, I need salt on them if I have them. Why would you put salt on fruit at all? Ever? Fruit is a sweet thing, not a salty thing. You're not supposed to put salt on sweet things. For me, that's like putting salt on my cornflakes after I put sugar on my cornflakes. Why would you do that? Salt and bananas. Yeah, I don't know. Like nuts, at least it makes sense, because nuts are neutral to begin with. right? Which is why nuts work both sweet and salty. But you don't have them together generally. But you have, chocolate covered nuts or salted nuts. See, another reason, let's see, Clyde is like, see, that's why I don't like pineapple on pizza. So clever bringing that up again because I know Z doesn't like it when I bring it up. One of the reasons I like pineapple on pizza is the grease tends to give me indigestion. I find the citrus of the pineapple helps to cut the grease. Kind of like you'd have lemon in your dishwashing liquid, whatever. Yeah. It's like palm olive for your tummy. I hope it's just been randomly zooming in and out like mad this whole time. It probably hasn't been. Yeah, yes, okay, fine. What? I'm not going to go through every single treat under the sun. Thomas says dark chocolate and salt is tasty. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's lovely. You're missing the point. The point is, too much salt is bad for you. It is unhealthy, can lead to high blood pressure and countless other problems, including weight gain through water retention, because salt absorbs water. The more salt you eat, the more your body has to absorb water in order to compensate for all the excess salt. So, too much salt, bad. That's the point. My point is, for me, personally, it's not about what makes a tasty treat. It's about this. Again, it's about this right here. I want to get rid of this. Which I'm pretty sure a large part is water retention because I eat a lot of salty snacks. In fact, I eat more salty snacks than anything else. Which is funny because I always talk about, I don't put that much salt on my food when I cook it. It's like, yeah, but how many fucking bags of potato chips do I go through? So, yeah. That's the point I'm making here. Yeah, you need a little salt. Like the amount of salt you actually need as your recommended daily intake actually is not a lot, and just the amount of salt that is just naturally in all of the shit we eat to begin with, you will get that minimum amount of salt into your system without having to force the issue. So, yeah, we're gonna make a little change there. So I'll still get my crunchy snacks. It'll just be a little healthier. I mean, to be fair, these are snacks I've always enjoyed anyway, so it's just like, going back to eating these. And hey, I think the last time I ate nuts and banana chips a lot, I was a lot slimmer. Not like, skin and bones by any means, but At least a healthier weight and physique. Jonker says, but most meat is dull without salt. You know there's salt in barbecue sauce, right? What do I tend to put on my steak? Yeah. I don't need to add more salt on top of that. There's plenty in there already. And so I just season with pepper and garlic powder, or the granulated garlic. And that's enough. The barbecue sauce handles the rest, you know. Yeah, swapping chips for banana chips. And unsalted nuts. And these have 0 sodium, by the way. But they do have potassium. Because bananas. Potassium is actually really good for you. Apparently, it can also... It is said... on the internet, I read it, so it must be true, that potassium can aid in the unclogging of arteries and aid with lowering cholesterol and that sort of thing. I think at least some of that is confirmed. Some of it is out for debate, but bottom line is potassium is one of the super minerals, so it doesn't hurt to get a little extra in your diet. The point being, it is something we only benefit from. Interesting. Blaze says if you tried plantain chips, they're basically savory banana chips. Though probably hard to find unsalted. Yeah, I just, these are just straight up dehydrated banana chips. No salt. All banana. Oh, yeah, no, you said before, he goes with just the steak juice and a small dose of butter. Like, do you see? I thought you did do seasoning, though. Not just butter. I know not barbecue sauce, but I mean, I thought you did do, yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, I see what you're thinking. The barbecue sauce is somehow to keep the juices in or something. Well, yeah, it does partly serve that purpose, but it's also the flavor. There's all different kinds of flavors of barbecue sauces based on what you like. Sometimes I want one that's a little sweeter. Sometimes I want one with a little more spiciness to it. You know. Got all kinds. Mm. Ooh, peanut butter on banana chips. Mm-hmm. Oh, Thomas says, I bet that's nice. I don't see why it wouldn't be. As a kid, occasionally I would have peanut butter and banana bread like our peanut butter and banana sandwiches, inspired by Ernie from Sesame Street, because apparently that was his favorite type of sandwich. So I had my mom make me one, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, far be it from the Muppets to recommend something that's unhealthy, right? Especially maybe on the Muppet Show, sure, but definitely not on Sesame Street. On Sesame Street, they keep it all on the up and up, you know. Well, that is also true. Worm Disease says peanut butter on anything is really nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, Jonku says just salt, pepper, and garlic. So actually, your seasoning is very similar to mine. I just don't put the salt on because in my case, I'm using the sauce, which has plenty of salt in it anyway, right? So you gotta get the salt in there somewhere. I mean that's another thing. Salt can help to retain the moisture if you kind of, I guess, sear it on both sides before the salt really starts to soak in. Um, they just get that nice flavor and a little bit of crust on either side. But and the salt can add to the crust as well. You almost get like a slight caramelization there. But one thing I do use salt on a decent amount is when I make my own shake and bake pork chops or anything. And the reason being, if I don't, then the juices of the meat, say a pork chop, actually will soak through the breading and it'll just be all like wet instead of crispy. But I found adding salt into the mix, it, I guess, absorbs that excess moisture before it hits the too much of the crust. So the crust gets crispier. So for that, I found a very scientific reason to use salt, which was to keep the crust crispy. Um, but it does also help to punch up the flavor a little bit. Of course, it does. But this is with pork also, and pork has, you get that nice layer of fat on there. You got a lot of flavor to begin with. So, yeah, good stuff. But oh yeah, but you use sauce for chicken or turkey wings. Yeah, what about ribs? If you do ribs, I can't imagine ribs that are not slathered in barbecue sauce. Unless they're like Texas barbecue beef ribs, because those are done differently. That's a whole different animal. But pork ribs, definitely. As he says, which in the case of chicken or turkey, they pretty much a must with seasoning and sauce because without them, the meat is just there as can be annoyingly tame. I don't know that's necessarily true of the turkey. If you get like a sort of one of those butterball type turkeys where they're like pre-seasoned a little bit, then they really don't need much of anything. I find you just do the basting every hour or half hour, or however often you want to do it. But you do the basting, and that actually brings out the flavor, like the natural flavor of the boiled, because you're getting all of that going into the skin and then soaking into the meat as well. But it's wonderful. But that said, I do like to use like just a basic poultry seasoning with the turkey, which I find gives it a really nice flavor. Just very basic, very simple, but really gives the some extra flavor and some extra crunch to the skin, especially. And then for chicken, I found this. It's a rotisserie chicken rub where you just kind of sprinkle it over a roast chicken. I would do both sides, and that's that. And then I would do the same thing I do with a turkey. I just baste it every so often, and then what that does is it kind of it reduces the powderiness of the rub. By this point, it's soaked in, so you can pour the juices over it without worrying about the the seasoning washing away. No, it just kind of soaks in, and then it gives it that nice kind of more saucy kind of aspect to it. But yeah, I've used that a few times. It's just really nice flavor on those. We've done a few roast chickens with that. I picked up actually another thing of that recently. Um, as for like just other ways to make chicken, I mean, the thing is, chicken is another one of those things you can make a billion different ways. Um, what I used to do in my bachelor days was again just barbecue sauce. I would get like a chicken leg with back attached, so it was like a big chunk of meat, and some bones to gnaw on, and lots of crispy skin. So I would get like 2 packs of those because I could fit them both in my toaster oven, and I just slather them with barbecue sauce, put them in there for however long it took in that old toaster oven, and there you go. That's some good eating, and they would come out pretty good usually. Really simple way to do them. Is it turkey and pork don't agree with me? Oh, that's unfortunate, especially the pork one because there's so much stuff you can do with pork. I mean, you've seen like I mean, I love my pork chops, sure, but I do roasts. We'll do stir fries. I'll chop it up and put it in a stir fry. Um, any number of things. The air fryer basically replaced my oven. Miracle device. Absolutely love them. I hear that from a lot of people, and basically that's the same idea as a toaster oven, just bigger. It's like when everybody calls it an air fryer, but then when it was actually described to me, I'm like, that's a fucking toaster oven. It's just a big toaster oven. Yeah, but and then it kind of made me laugh. It's like, wow, all these people singing the praises of air fryers, yet I have been cooking shit in a toaster oven since the '90s. My very first apartment. So I don't know. But yeah, they are handy because you don't have to fire up the entire oven if you just want a smaller meal or whatever. But yeah, no, they're pretty cool. I might get one of those. Should I move at some point? I'd really like to, but it has to be to a house. I can't do another apartment. So Operation Let's Get Z a house. Preferably a mansion. With lots of secret corridors. And hidden rooms. And comes with a pre-installed Morticia. To love you for the rest of eternity. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, and yes, slow cookers. Love slow cookers too. Yeah, I haven't made anything in there for a while. I should do that. Hey, Vermin! Halogen oven is the best, he says. Wouldn't that be a Betty Crocker oven? You can make us some one bite muffins? Hey, greetings, Andy. Yes, because I went to a horror convention recently. Everybody's been going to horror conventions lately. As you probably saw in the Discord, well, besides meeting Heather Longenkamp, Catherine Newton, and Tom Atkins, forgot to post my pictures of the last two, I got to meet the hall monitor from the first night on Elm Street. Nice. Where's your pass? I posted a TikTok in July about how excited that they were coming. Well, unbeknownst to me, my friend Paige had contacted her, sent her my video, and they had back-to-back conversations about me. That's awesome, dude. So I got to her table with Paige, the hall monitor. I believe her name is Leslie. Looked at me and said, "Hey, I know you. You're Andy." That is so friggin' wholesome, dude. That's awesome. That must have thrown you for a loop. I'm guessing you had no knowledge of any of that until after the fact. And yes, Kerlatin, big huge step from an apartment to a house. Correct. It says, I'm paying attention, I swear. I don't believe you. Huh. Have a good one, Brian, if you haven't gone already. Greetings, Andy Kishore. House to mansion, yes. Or just apartment straight to mansion. There you go. Vermin says, I'm not sticking food in Betty Crocker's oven. Blaze says, just move in one of those big abandoned old houses. According to 80s and 90s TV, they're everywhere. That's true. There's got to be one nearby. Just kick out all the squatters or just party with them. I don't know. Whatever. Air fryer basically replaced my own. What was I looking for? Yes. What did Vermin says? Or as my mom once said, hydrogen oven. Okay. Better late than never, I suppose. Donate. You can start the mansion fund. There you go. Get Sean into a house. The horror section could be a whole room. Well, yeah, it would be. And the sci-fi section would be a whole room. The Doctor Who section would be a whole room. Like, I would need one of those big, massive, winding staircase libraries with ladders on wheels. Yes. Well, thankfully, there is, of course, the VOD. You can run it back and see what you missed, because I already kind of put things around, so I don't feel like getting them all off the shelves again. They're not in their permanent forever homes by any stretch. They're just where they are for the moment. The Hulk Blu-ray right here? Yes, it is. It is indeed. Let me just move all the lesbian vampires out of the way. Yeah, I've actually been watching it this week. I'm in the middle of season 2. I just finished disc 3, which puts me, I think, right in the middle of the season. Yeah, so there's 2 discs left. I guess I'm doing a full series rewatch of The Incredible Hulk, and I've been really enjoying it. Great show. So this, not everything, not this stuff, but all the other stuff, not R2, but everything else in these piles here, that's all for update videos that I haven't done yet. So So if you didn't know I had that, that's why. Because I didn't do an update video about it yet. Shh! Don't tell anybody. It's a surprise. But are we group viewing the Hulk? No, I'm just watching it by myself. I don't have the means to stream my Blu-rays, so I would need to have like digital rips. So, is it better than the last copy you have? Like features? In fact, I think it's the exact same features, just ported over. And those features were in the individual season sets originally. So I don't think they've ever really done anything new in terms of extras. They just gave us the high def upgrade. So, and honestly, I'm fine with that. I mean, I know there's a bunch of stuff they could include. I would love if they included that Mr. Rogers episode in there where Mr. Rogers visited the set and met everybody, met Lou, and watched them film a scene. And, why isn't that available on home video? Oh, well. I think there's a pretty nice version of it online somewhere, but yeah. Anyway, enjoying the rewatch. And I mean, to be fair, I probably haven't seen most of these episodes since I was like 9 years old, so they're basically new to me. Well, the Mr. Rogers episode, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. I remember seeing it recently. You just stream DVD and Blu-ray with VLC. Well, good for you, Vermin. How am I going to do that when I don't have a Blu-ray player for my computer? I actually can stream it from the PS5 through Streamlabs to Discord, but not in a way that I can also talk. It would just be the sound from the movie. So, yes, you can relax, Vermin. I have two coming. I ordered two Asus like super high speed Blu-ray drives so I could use them for watching and ripping discs and stuff for easier watching. But how the fuck are you even able to watch Blu-rays on VLC Player? I thought VLC Player didn't like Blu-rays. So strange. So odd. Peculiar, even. VLC has an extension to do. Oh, well, shit. Okay, cool. That's good to know. See, I'll look into all this stuff once we get the new systems going. And I have all the hardware here. Then I want to get all that figured out, and then, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, if, for the Discord screenings, if I can just stream stuff straight off my Blu-rays, I mean, that'll make it a lot easier. Or rip them. I'd probably rather rip them if we were going to do a screening because then I'm not running the drive the whole time, right? So requires AACS library, but it's all downloadable and straightforward. Okay, cool. Well, I might ask you about that again when it's closer to the time. I'm in the mood to watch Brain of Blood with your fan commentary you did. Oh, there you go. I was just thinking about that movie the other day, Brain of Blood. That's a good one. I was thinking about there's actually that Severin set of the works of Al Adamson, very famous director slash producer of some of the most beloved cult classic drive-in trash movies ever. And I've seen precious little of his work, and I've really wanted to dive into that catalog because they just all sound like batshit crazy fun. So yeah. Anyway, Severin put out a box set. The the Strange Worlds of Al Adamson. I can't remember what it was. Something of Al Adamson, and it was 33 of his movies in this set. Just a massive beast of a set. And naturally, it's out of print now. Found a few on the aftermarket, but I mean, as I'm sure you can imagine, that set was expensive to begin with. Never mind on the aftermarket. So it was a little too far out of the range of possibility. Like, kind of, you know, it's really annoyed me because it's just, I've been poor for so long that I haven't been able to get any of these sets when they were current. So now that I finally, have money to at least get some of them, a lot of the Holy Grail sets I want are now out of print and unattainable. The other big one being the Twin Peaks Z to A set. So mad that I missed that. I think when I went to eBay, I saw precisely two. One had some pretty fierce bidding war going on it, and the other was like, buy it now for $80 bajillion. And I don't think it was even the North American version. It was like the Region B version, which doesn't matter. I don't think it's region locked or anything. It's just one has the ratings on it and one doesn't. I prefer the ones without the ratings all over it. Like my covers clean, damn it. Don't plaster your ratings board bullshit all over it. Was the set in the ballpark of Dark Shadows? Yes. Yes, it was. I don't think it was quite that high, but it was definitely getting there. So
I'll get you, Gadget, next time. Quiet, Mad Cat.
oh, that voice is not friendly to the throat. The JD says, I always enjoy watching your reviews. I went back and watched your ones on Dracula and Frankenstein. This year I'm watching every series based on The Invisible Man and its many movies. Oh, very nice. Yeah, there's still a bunch of Invisible Man stuff I need to see. I've seen all the Universal ones, and I need to finish reviewing them. I really enjoyed those. Next, I want to see Hollow Man, the one that Paul Verhoeven did, and then I have the sequel to that as well. And then I know there was an Invisible Man TV series starring what's his face from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. David something. Anyway, him. There's Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which is a comedy with Chevy Chase. There was the recent one, of course, The Invisible Man from Blumhouse, which I thought was really good. But yeah, there's a bunch. Oh, JD, you're a little out of the loop, aren't you? Take a look at the top of the middle bookshelf there. Ah. Yeah, that was a big package opening a few days ago. Huh. So, Jonker says, Andy, wish I didn't chicken shit like I did when meeting Hayden Christensen, but it was fucking Darth Vader, man. And I'm shy as it is. Andy just laughs. or says, "Oh, or no," he was laughing at something Vermin said. Oh yeah, what's it? The Dr. Claw camera angle. And then he says to John Clear, "Practically did that the whole time. Besides with Catherine." Uh, and then he says probably the worst verbal vomiting I did was with Tom Atkins. I don't even remember what I said, but we took a picture together. And for 88 years old, he's the strongest elderly person I've ever met. Oh yeah, Tom is the man. He's like just pure manliness. Berman says, I like Hollow Man. A lot of people don't like it for some reason. I don't know. I remember Paul Verhoeven laughing about the fact that he read some reviewer who described it as an abomination against mankind. Or an abomination of nature, I think. I can't remember. Yeah. Last movie was Abigail. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've definitely wanted that set for a long time. That was one of my holy grails for sure. And even farther back than that DVD set goes, I just wanted to have Dark Shadows in full for basically since the 90s when I first discovered it. I wanted to get all the VHS tapes, all like 250 of them. But I didn't. I only got a few. And then they came out with the Blu-ray or the DVD sets, and I was like, "Oh, there's like 40 episodes per set. That's a little more doable." So I was gonna get those. Never did. And there's like 30 something of those. So at least it wasn't 250 volumes. It's like, wow, you'll save so much shelf space. But then they put out the complete series set, and I'm like, oh, well, shit, I want that. And it actually is cheaper to get the complete series set than it is to get all the volumes. It is absolutely official. I do not waste money on bootlegs. There's no way in hell that thing is a bootleg. That is a beast. And it is quality construction. So, yeah, I've had my hands on enough bootlegs to know what one looks like and what one feels like, and that ain't it. No, that version, the coffin set, they've actually just kept it in print, I guess, and occasionally do new batches of them. But yeah, no, that is official, straight from Amazon. But yeah, no, you don't have to worry about that with me. I'm pretty good at spotting bootlegs. I learned from the mistakes I made with those Doctor Who sets. And that pissed me off even more because normally I am good at spotting bootlegs, but those listings were misleading. So that's one of the reasons I mostly just shop on Amazon now because then I know I'm getting the real deal. You're missing the documentary from the revival series. Right, Dark Shadows Resurrected. Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, I am missing that. Because that was only ever released on VHS, as far as I know. I don't think it was on any of the DVD releases. It was produced by MPI. And for some reason, I guess they lost the rights to the revival series. And all the DVD releases have been studio releases. Really lacking the TLC that MPI puts into their Dark Shadows stuff. Such a shame. So I know if MPI had done that set, they would have done it justice. And included that documentary. That's true. They did do a book as well. Yeah. That might still be obtainable. Hmm. Ha! Thomas says, I want to get Dark Shadows even though I can't stand Carolyn. Plenty of other characters. Well, hey. Thank you, Funk Monk. 58 months. Coming up on, what, 7 years? Almost 7 years. Someone hit 60 the other day. Wannabe Newfie. It was 5 years, not 7 years. 5 years. Yeah, Wannabe Newfie hit 60 months, which is 5 solid years. Holy shit. Duncan hit 70. 70. Almost 6 years. 2 away from 6 years. And you're 2 away from 5 years. Wow. Crazy. Funk says, I can't stand David. Such an annoying, nosy kid. Well, hey. He's the one who first told them about the ghosts. Oh, you haven't seen the beginning, have you? Yeah, you gotta see the beginning. He's even more of a little shit in the beginning episodes. He legit tries to kill Roger. Like, full on tries to murder him. There's some great stuff, though, like when, especially when the supernatural shenanigans begin. Because it plays out very much like a gothic ghost story for a lot of the early episodes. There's a shit ton of almonds in these mixed nuts. I'm okay with that. I like almonds. Yes, we all loved Burke Devlin. That was Mitchell Ryan. Yeah, Thomas Wright says the actor who played Burke Devlin in Dark Shadows, the beginning was just pure eye candy. Totally could be Batman. Yeah, I know, eh? He definitely could have been. Not black and white. Okay. So you didn't see the earlier episodes. No snooping. That was the original Matthew. That's true. Funk says, I love how rewarding it seems when you get to the end of a story arc. Especially if you, like, stuck it out through the whole thing. I mean, like, one story arc typically could run anywhere from, like, 100 to 200 episodes. You know, it could be a full year's worth of episodes before it's resolved. Like, the Burke Devlin storyline, which is basically, I forget which one it was. It was a take on like a modernized take on a classic story about a man who was wrongfully accused. But that storyline was like the full first year of the show. It was like one of the main ongoing storylines. But it started to take a back seat to a lot of the other stories with the other characters. I think once the popularity of the supernatural stuff kind of became apparent, they started to put more of a focus. I don't know if the second Matthew did the snooping line so much because it was a different kind of performance, right? Which I think worked better. Given without giving too much away, but given how where that storyline went, you know, it was better. Like he came off a little creepier, which I think worked better for how things developed. But yeah, yeah. And then actually the actor who played him was Thayer David, I think his name was. Um, he played a bunch of different characters over the course of the series, and he's just he was such a versatile actor. Like it was easy to forget that this was the same guy who played those different characters. Yeah, JD Copeland says it's funny how the show was good without Barnabas, but nowadays you can't think of Dark Shadows without him. I know he really became the face of the entire franchise, which is funny because he wasn't even in it for the first year, like fully the first year. But no, there's some great story. I love the beginning stories, honestly, because I love good old fashioned gothic ghost stories and stuff. So for me, it was right up my alley. I mean, fuck, this has been like the year of gothic horror, honestly. So we got Dark Shadows, like the granddaddy of gothic horror television, and then all these gothic horror movie sets from films from around the world. And I got more on pre-order. There's a couple coming out from a fairly new label featuring some Japanese ones. So pretty cool. Hey, Crazy Viking. Yes, well, it's a new old shelf. It was part of the things I inherited from my mom, basically. Yeah, they were otherwise, I think they were just going to get sold or something. And then I asked, my brother was handling all the stuff at the house. So I said, hey, are those shelves still there? If they are, I'd kind of like to have them because I could actually really make use of them. He's like, okay, sure, I'll throw them on the truck for you. So that was it. But yeah, it's funny. In Mom's place, I remember her previous place, she used those for her books and stuff. But her last place, she never got them set up. I think the reason she didn't get them set up was they didn't have the dowels for the shelves. I had to buy shelf pegs for the shelves. I mean, which was an easy enough thing to get, but Mom didn't have the internet and stuff, so I don't know. Anyway, Count Yorga, excellent. It's like 500 pounds. Yeah, I think it was like 650 Canadian when I bought it. So it does go on sale periodically, but did you ever see any of the other movies Jonathan Frid was in? I have not to my knowledge. I did pick up his the biography though, the film biography of him though. So I expect I'll learn about some of those from that. That's very true. Yeah, Funk says I preferred when it was black and white than when they switched to color. The black and white fit it so well, made it seem so much more gothic. That's true. Yeah, it definitely is a vibe. And then when you switch to color, it just suddenly makes it look so cheap. It just makes the low budgetness so much more apparent. But the flip side is also it's like the swinging 60s. So I mean, some of the costumes and stuff are quite colorful. So I mean, obviously they want to take advantage of that. But yeah, it definitely does make its low budget so much more painfully apparent. But that's okay. It's all about the stories and the characters. We love Dark Shadows in the same way we love classic Doctor Who. We don't watch it for the dazzling special effects. We watch it for the story and the characters. Thomas says the sets look weird in color. It's funny because I'm so accustomed to seeing it in black and white because I've just been determined to get through the beginning era first and watch everything in order, that by the time we do get to color, it's going to seem so strange to me. But what's funny is the first ever episodes of, I was going to say Red Dwarf, of Dark Shadows that I ever saw were from the later color episodes. So, yeah, I found it interesting just because I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it. But I tuned in the middle of a storyline with a character called Adam, who was basically like a Frankenstein monster interpretation. And then there was a warlock named Nicholas Blair. What a great name. And he kind of looked like the devil. And he just had this really cool demeanor about him. I was like, oh, he's kind of like the Master, but more into dark magic, you know? So I was intrigued, and I watched a little bit. I had no idea what was going on, who any of these characters were, who the main characters were, or anything. But yeah, you're up to the Adam story. Well, you're probably going to see that episode wherever it. I couldn't tell you what happens in it because it was so long ago. I just remember that particular episode was a big focus on Adam and Nicholas Blair, and some of the women. But how many years did the original Dark Shadows run? 5 years. It was a daytime soap, so they would produce about 200 or so episodes a year for a grand total of 1,225 episodes. So, yeah. It's a lot. If you want something comparable in length, One Piece, the anime, is almost up to that point. I think it's going to surpass it by about 100 episodes. So, as being a long show. But the funny thing is, like you thought, that sounds like a huge amount of episodes, and it is. But that's just how daytime soaps were done. Now, the thing is, Dark Shadows was only a half hour. So they did 1,225 half-hour episodes. Most daytime soaps were an hour. So they would do that number of episodes, but double the length. So double the amount of stuff they had to do. Then and some of the longer running ones, they would go on for decades. So you'd end up with literally tens of thousands of episodes across the entire run. Like, some of them are just ridiculous. How many episodes of Doctor Who? Probably around 1,000 by now. The original series was only about 700. I think it was 697. Or was it 729? I can't remember. There's a couple different ways to count them. But anyway, around 700. You see why the Doctor has trouble remembering how old he is. And then we've had, 15 series of the new one. And however many that is. And then if you want to factor in the spin-offs, all the episodes of those. So we got to be hovering around 1,000 episodes by now. Huh. Yeah, JD says, I'm just thinking about if you are the reason I got into Columbo and the Munsters and Kindred. So thank you, Sean. You're very welcome. Those are all good shows. And that's one of the reasons I do what I do is to, just kind of celebrate the things I love. And of course, being very ADHD and on the spectrum, I love a lot of things. But my hyperfixation isn't just one particular thing. It's all of media. So, but, some specific things within that. But yeah, so just to kind of celebrate the things I love, but also to, introduce the viewers to things they may not be familiar with. So, always happy to broaden everyone's horizons whenever I can. Okay, 883. So, anyway, Modern Who alone is 883. How can it possibly be that many episodes? It's had half the number of seasons, and the seasons are so much shorter. Where he says, well, you are the Multimedia Chronicles. True. Oh, yeah, JD says, gotta love the gags and bloopers in Dark Shadows. Well, yeah, the whole thing about how they basically did it as if it was live. So they wouldn't do retakes. So a lot of the bloopers are just went to air. They just got left in. I did pick up the bloopers and outtakes DVD they put out, so it has a compilation of some of the best ones. But all together, including both modern and classic, 883. Okay. So and then and then if you factored in the spin-offs, that would creep up a little bit more. So yeah, like I said, we should be pretty close to 1,000 episodes across everything in the franchise. Everything on screen in the franchise. No. No, a story is a story. An episode is however many episodes make up that story. So one story could be 4 episodes, it could be 6 episodes, it could be 10 episodes. We're just counting individual episodes. So individual half-hour episodes of the original, 50 minutes for a couple of the seasons, and then, the individual episodes of the new. Yeah, that's generally the way people do it. The ones who call a story an episode, I just want to strangle them, figuratively speaking. That's not how it works. But yes. All right. So last time we had 1 sub. And that was it. Today we've had 1 sub, and that's it. Is this how the support's going to be from now on, guys? Did it just tank? We got bits, we got subs, we got super chats, we got donos. So many ways you can contribute to the stream, contribute to the show. I'm almost at the end of the spending money here, guys. So if you want me to talk about anything else, or pick up anything else to do closer looks or whatever, I need contributions. I can't. There's no more money, and what little there is has to go towards necessities. So there you go. It all goes towards the show. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna head off, guys. I am tired. Yeah, Pee-wee's had 2 Blu-ray releases. This is a re-release. I should look into that, actually. Jesus, it's $100. And the standalone Blu-ray of the Christmas special is $39. It's 1 stinking episode. Oh my god. This is the depressing thing about having been poor for so long. I missed out on so many releases that are just prohibitively expensive now because they're out of print. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's one I'd like to get, but might have to wait a bit. Huh? Show still holds the Guinness World Record for largest number of episodes of a show. Doctor Who? I suppose if you're not counting soap operas and stuff.
Verminart donated $5. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. How many ears do space aliens have? 3, the left ear, right ear and the final front ear.
The final front ear. Very nice. Yes, $5 towards the mansion. Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, Funk says, yeah, you missed it on the Arrow Ju-on set. That's 224 Canadian now. Was that just the first movie, or did it have other movies in it? I know they did a Ringu set. You can still get that fairly easily. Oh no, here it is. I think this is it. Is this it? Yeah, the Arrow set. I can get it for $150. It has Ju-on, Ju-on 2, Ju-on, Ju-on 2, Ju-on, Ju-on 2, and Ju-on, Ju-on 2. Cool. Oh, the first one's in 4K. Ooh. Oh, maybe they'll release a non-limited version that'll be cheaper. Wow. It was everything from Curse to Ju-on Black and White. There are more. Yes. They did a Ju-on set and a Ringu set. Yeah. I have basically I looked at the Ringu set. It's the original 4 movies. I have a DVD set of those same movies. So I'm just like, well, that'd be nice to have, but how often have I watched those? I've literally watched them once since buying them. It's like, so I'll get the Blu-rays and watch them once. So I thought they were okay. I thought they were pretty good. Started to get a little weird the farther you got into the sequels, though. But yeah. Ju-on I used to have on DVD. I watched it a few times. I thought it was really good. And never saw the Sarah Michelle Gellar version. Even though I owned the unrated cut for a while, I never got around to watching it. Pingu horror set. Is this Thingu? If it is, I have seen it many times, and it's brilliant. course, it's Thingu. Yes. How did I know? Didn't even have to click. Yes. I just want to watch the crossover they did. Oh yeah, that's right. What is it? The Grudge Girl versus Sadako. Yeah. Okay. Just trying some settings here. Yeah, I didn't do anything. My YouTube still isn't working. I can't actually watch videos on YouTube right now. While I'm logged in, which is odd. If I'm logged out, I can watch YouTube videos all I want. I just can't watch anything that's age restricted because you need to be logged in for that. So, no R-rated YouTube videos for me. They assure me they're looking into it, but haven't heard back from the internal team yet. Okay, it's been a month. Almost to the day. Yeah, Cotton says at this point, I wonder if it will ever be fixed. I know. What you know what I sneakily suspect is going to happen is I'm going to get everything set up on the new computers, and then it'll work fine on the new computers. Maybe something internally got borked, but I don't know what could have been, because it's the same thing happens on any browser that I log into. Doesn't matter. So yeah, Bernard says looking into it means they stare at each other at the water cooler blankly. Exactly, looking into the vortex of the water cooler. All right. Anyway, I think I've burned my ceiling fan light into your screens long enough. I'm going to say good night for now. So, very cool. Yes, no conversation. Certainly no technical troubleshooting. All right. Thanks for the fiber, Vermin. Appreciate it, dude. It all goes back into the show, folks. The more we can rake in, the more spectacular Halloween's going to be. I've got a good head start on it, but it could be so much more. Anyway, talk to you later, folks. Until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. Likely more packages tomorrow.